two drivers stand head and shoulder above the competition in the WRC 2006. Sebastian Loeb and Marcus Gronholm have, between them, won all 11 rounds of the championship so far. And in Rally Cyprus, they will start day 2, separated by just a few seconds at the top of the leaderboard. Early on day 1, it looked like Gronholm would dominate. He won 4 of the 5 stages. Loeb was first on the road and having to deal with the worst of the gravel and the dust on the stage surface. The Frenchman found himself over 18 seconds down. But later on, helped by a more astute tyre choice, Loeb hit back. He was fastest on the final 3 stages. He will start day 2 just 6.4 seconds behind Gronholm.
I'm happy that we could come back a bit and close the gap with Marcus, and we'll see tomorrow.
Loeb and Gronholm may be the best, but they will need no reminders that these rough, rocky roads are no respecters of reputation. Despite winning stage 4, Petter Solberg was never happy with his setup. This was compounded by brake problems, the constant issue of an overheating engine, and finally he was left with only second gear for the last 2 stages.
I stopped, I couldn't find any gear, and then second gear just came. That's the only gear I have, so it's just amazing, huh?
The Skodas of both Harry Rovanperä and Andreas Eigner failed to make it to the second stage when they developed the same electrical problem. Citroen's Chevy Pons needs a good result to turn his season around and was in 4th position until this off on stage 3 knocked his challenge off course. Danny Sordo was also seeking a morale-boosting performance in Cyprus and was making steady progress until engine failure forced his retirement on stage 7. He was definitely not okay. Another Citroen driver in trouble after promising beginnings was Tony Gardemeister. He was battling for 3rd place before a familiar catalogue of problems took over. An overheating engine, a major puncture, and clutch failure sent him tumbling down the leaderboard. Henning Solberg looked like he would take advantage of his rival's misfortune. He was up to 5th going into the final stage of the day. But there is always something to catch you out in Cyprus.
Well, we were blended by the sun. It's so stupid. And the dust and the sun was straight down from that top. And then I couldn't see anything, so I took the handbrake in the last second and I took the car down here.
Most drivers having a problem of some sort, the day 1 leaderboard was in a constant state of flux. But this is how it looks at the start of the second day. Gronholm and Loeb separated by 6.4 seconds. Mikko Hirvonen enjoyed an incident-free day to establish himself in 3rd. Manfred Stoll and Chris Atkinson had their problems, but they lie in 4th and 5th, while Chevy Pons and Tony Gardemeister are separated by just a 10th of a second in 6th and 7th. The sunrise over this Mediterranean island marks the beginning of day 2. The Cyprus Rally is based in the resort city of Limassol. Today's stages take place in and around the Troodos Mountains to the north. There are 8 in all, totalling 117 kilometres. The first stage of the day, the 9.5-kilometre Kilaki test. Australia's Chris Atkinson is at the start line. He had a problem with an overheating differential early on yesterday, but put that behind him to move up to 5th. He's the leading Subaru.
Go 100, mid-7 right, opens into long, opens long into middle, flat 3,
This stage is another one that's been graded before the event. Again, it looks relatively smooth and fast out there.
7 left, then tight, 5, narrow, and 7 right, 50. Narrow 8 right, long 6 left, opens 30. Keep left on crest into 7 right, then tight 6 and tight.
David Stoll was second here last year in a Citroën prepared by the Kronos team that now run the Citroën manufacturer team. He achieved that result with a controlled drive, protecting his car while the list of retirements built up. A few more big-name retirements could see him repeat that result. Tony Gardemeister is already in the stage. Remember, he is just a tenth of a second behind Chevy Pons in sixth. Gardemeister's recovery is proof that as long as you keep going in Cyprus, there is always the chance of a good result. Gardemeister set a time of 8 minutes, 18.8 seconds. And here is Pons defending that slender advantage. There's his target time. He needs to at least equal Gardemeister's time to stay in front. No, that time has elapsed. And Pons is nearly 8 seconds slower in the stage. It sounds like Mikko Hirvinen's engine has cut out. It started again, but just a few seconds before the red lights go out to start the stage. Does that point to a technical problem? After that nervy start, Hirvinen needs to settle down and concentrate on guiding his Ford Focus through this difficult stage.
Lyhyt oikein, nopea menee ja käänne jatkuu oikein täysin.
All seems okay for Loeb at the start. The Frenchman has a chance of his third successive victory in Cyprus. But he will also be mindful of getting home to maintain his healthy advantage in the Drivers' Championship. He's 33 points ahead of Gronholm coming into this event.
Attention, gauche centrale, plus mi-long glisse. Et attention, gauche ferme me semble un moins pas corde.
Marcus Gronholm needs to get home safely to keep the championship alive. If he was to retire, that could mean that Loeb wraps up the championship in Cyprus.
Ja vasenlaita oikein täys. 8, oikein eri, ehkä pyöree, ahdas. 7.
We're back with Hirvinen. He's been fastest at all the splits so far. That suggests that his Ford Focus is technically sound.
Jarrussa rikki, vasen serpo tiukka.
Mikko, the car was misbehaving at the start of the stage a bit. What happened?
I don't know. That's what's worrying, so we need to go and try to find out.
How was the stage, though? Did it go okay? Because the time's not bad.
Yeah, it's working at the moment, but, you know, we have some misfire almost all the time, so it doesn't sound very good.
But Hirvinen is fastest on the stage so far. Can Loeb go faster and put some pressure on Gronholm?
100 mètres. Gauche centrale, plus frein.
He's nearly 10 seconds faster. That's a decent chunk of time in just 9.5 kilometers.
Sebastian, how was that stage for you?
It was okay. Good run. I don't know. Marcus is pushing hard also. So I've done some few mistakes, but not a lot. But just going a bit out of the line in the gravel, and you are immediately losing a bit of time because I try sometimes a bit too hard. But okay, we'll see.
Can Gronholm respond? That's the time Gronholm needs to beat to stay ahead. Remember, his lead is just 6.4 seconds. There's the finish line. Gronholm is faster in the stage. He extends his lead.
Marcus, the day started very well. You've beaten Sebastian.
We are on the back on the same tires what we had in the yesterday morning, so seems to be the confidence is back.
You're going to have to be quick all day long to keep him behind you.
Yeah, he have to be quick as well.
Gronholm's lead is now 9.3 seconds. Confirmation that Gardemeister goes ahead of Pons into 6th. Luis Perez Compang completes the top 8. The next round of the Gronholm versus Loeb heavyweight contest is coming up after the break. See you in a few minutes. Welcome back to the Cyprus Rally. Stages 10 and 11 coming up. After his engine problems yesterday, Danny Sordo is back in under the restart rules. But his penalties mean that he's nearly 6 minutes away from the top 8. He's rolled. He cut too much there and caught the raised area where another road joins the stage. That's what tipped him over. He's back on 4 wheels. This rally was about rebuilding his confidence on the gravel, but it's not turning out as he hoped. Argentina's Luis Perez Compang has worked his way up to 8th, but he's lost his power steering, and that's bad news on these tight, undulating stages. Look how he's having to fight with the steering wheel. This problem would get worse, forcing him to retire. Compang's retirement means Petter Solberg moves up to 9th. We've seen how some of the stages have been graded to make them faster and more forgiving on the cars, but this is traditional Cyprus, tight, twisty and bumpy.
Now one right, double tightens, short hairpin left. 20, one right, double tightens, half long, 5 back.
And Petter Solberg is now just 0.2 of a second behind older brother Henning of the OMV Peugeot Norway team, who's now 8th.
Til 6 venstre. 70.
Sebastian Loeb had a stall on stage 10. But was still less than a second slower than Marcus Gronholm. Loeb has set the fastest time so far on stage 11, with only Gronholm left to finish. At over 30 kilometres, this is the longest stage of the day. Enough time for Gronholm to lose his 10-second advantage. He's slower, but by only 1/10 of a second, so well inside the target time. So over the last 38 kilometres, Gronholm has extended his lead over Loeb, but by just 0.8 of a second. There is nothing to separate these two. Hirvonen in 3rd is well over 2 minutes behind. At the other end of the leaderboard, Henning Solberg has moved up to 8th. But Henning Solberg's move up the standings is about to come to an end. He has brake and differential problems, and the car is nearly undrivable. And add to that, there is hot water leaking from somewhere into the footwell of the Peugeot. He loses around a minute and 8th place to his brother Petter. There are a few tarmac sections in this stage. That should prove some respite, but Tony Gardemeister still manages an overshoot. He's still sixth, though.
Rauhassa pakkia, rauha.
And this is Gronholm at the end of the stage. Loeb is again fastest. Let's use virtual spectator to see how Gronholm compares. This is how it would look if the two drivers had started the stage together. Gronholm is behind, but it looks like he's close enough to retain the lead. Again, he's inside that crucial target time. So Gronholm does retain his lead, but it's reduced to 8.5 seconds. Petter Solberg goes into 8th, but otherwise all positions remain the same. But as they reach service, Loeb has given Gronholm a little reminder that he won't be shaken off.
Sebastian, you're treating us to a great battle with Marcus Gronholm. How's it going for you inside the car?
It's going well. It's an interesting fight with Marcus. Okay, it's difficult to make any difference. He's pushing hard. I pushed as hard as possible in all the stages. In the long one, on 30 kilometers, we beat him for 0.1 second, so it's really, really close.
Marcus, 8.5 seconds between you and Sebastian Loeb, still very tight at the top.
Yeah, it's very close and tight, yeah, that's true. Long stage, the difference was only 0.1, so that's nothing.
What about the second run through the stages this afternoon? Yesterday, Sebastian was very quick.
Yeah, well, we'll see now. I don't know which tires exactly I have to take yet, but I have to see and decide.
So the battle continues. Loeb is faster on the 9.5 kilometre stage 13, taking another 6/10 off Gronholm's lead. And not surprisingly, with just Gronholm left to complete the stage, he had set the fastest time on stage 14.
Sur gauche 132 pour Milon, pas corde. Sur attention, droite 134 plus frein pour gauche 20. Gauche 20 et gauche à fond. Sur droite 123 frein pour gauche 97 3 coupe. Sur droite.
And here is Gronholm on stage 14.
Oikein hidas. 3, vasen hidas, reikä sisällä. Oikein eri jatkuu oikealle 3 ja... Ai.
But he's spun. This has echoes of the last round in Japan when Gronholm gave away his lead to Loeb on following a day 2 spin. He's soon back up to top speed, but can he hang on to the lead?
5. Ja nyppy 4 oikein. Pitkä hidas kirraa. 3.
He has to be inside 7 minutes 43.3 to hold on.
Oikein tiukka. 8. Vasen eri tiukka. 7 ja vasen... Eikö 4 ja vasen hidas? 5. Oikein pirun pitkä eri miinus ahdas kirraa.
It's close.
Ja nyppy 4 vasen hidas.
But no, he's a second slower. Loeb takes the lead. Something had to give, and it looks like it was Gronholm's concentration, if only for a split second. But Sebastian Loeb is once again top of the leaderboard.
Marcus, you've lost the lead, but only just. What happened?
No, it was a slow corner, left-hander. Just, you know, small spin and I have to reverse. Just I couldn't turn the car anymore. It was so tight place. So I have to reverse and go again. So I don't know how much I lost. I think we were a little bit behind already. But maybe, I don't know. But we lost then in the end 9 seconds. A little bit too much.
Gronholm has 2 more stages to make up for his mistake. They're coming up after the break. The penultimate test is the second run through the 30-kilometre Foyne stage. And this is Matthew Wilson. He was forced to retire with electrical problems at the end of day 1.
Flat left, 20, open hairpin right.
And he's in trouble again, but it looks like driver error this time.
Here,
Petter Solberg could gain some reward for his perseverance, as he is still in a top 8 position. And the fact that he appears to have been free of technical problems today is cause for celebration.
And 2 left long, tightens a bit into 4. Right, that's open, steady.
But Chris Atkinson is still the leading Subaru.
40, danger, brake 7 left, then tight, narrow, 4 minus.
But that could change here.
Supervision, we're off the side of the road. There's not much damage, but I don't think there's much chance of getting back on. We're about 17.5 km.
The car just stopped.
What did it do?
The car just stopped.
Yeah.
Big disappointment for the Australian. He's forced to retire. That means Chevy Pons will improve a position to 6th, providing he makes it through these final stages.
Carro A, interior 2 carro, a dreta 2 rodona, tanca, 2 menys, 2 rodona, tanca, 2 menys ras. Per...
And Tony Gardemeister is upwardly mobile as well. The Finnish privateer will move to 5th.
7.
Manfred Stoll is still 4th. For the 2nd year, he is showing how adept he is at guiding his car through these demanding stages. And Mikko Hirvonen continues to increase his reputation in the WRC ranks with every drive. His worrying misfire earlier in the day seems to have gone away, and he's looking safe in 3rd. Here is the new rally leader. Again, he has come strong in the afternoon, and it was Gronholm who made the crucial mistake. But Gronholm is just a second behind. Can he get the lead back? He needs to be inside 25 minutes, 55.1.
Hidas 8. Oikein hidas, liukas.
No, he won't take the lead back here, and there is no sign of the finish line.
Ja vasen nopea. 3. Vasen pitkä eri miinus, paha kivi sisällä lopussa. Ja oikea eri miinus, 5. Vasen hidas, betoni ulkona.
He's over 16 seconds slower.
Come, Sebastian can just pull that out on a second run when it's meant to be rougher and more tricky?
I don't know. He's always a second round runner, driver. He's not so fast on the first run, but when we repeat, he is going fast. So, okay, but nothing to do for the moment.
And Loeb won the last stage of the day, beating Gronholm by 4.1 seconds. He will end this 2nd day with a big lead.
150 mètres, gauche frein, pour droite 140 bras en cuvette sur frein, pour 60 mètres, droite 80 pas corde.
And that lead is 21.8 seconds. He has taken no prisoners on these afternoon stages. 2nd place Marcus Gronholm will testify to that. At the other end of the leaderboard, the demise of Chris Atkinson sees Henning Solberg move back into the top 8.
A very good day for us. We were pushing really hard all the day with Marcus, and we could close a bit the gap. Then this afternoon it was the conditions were really hard, and we used the wide tires, and I think it was a good choice. So Marcus was a bit more under pressure, and he lost a bit of time in a spin, and then we were faster. So now we are leading. That's the most important.
Morning it was okay, but afternoon, what really I don't know. Really answer why we couldn't do the same pace, but clearly we were on the different tires. Maybe it makes something. And I don't know.
It's been another compelling day in the heat and dust of Cyprus. Join us for the final instalment tomorrow. Until then, keep up to date with the latest developments at WRC.com.